Tonight, the Breaking Down Borders Africa Initiative hosts today's summit, which is underway in Gauteng from the 15th of this month. The event will conclude tomorrow. The summit is a platform to commemorate Africa Month through engagements with the established leaders, youth African leaders and government under the theme Youth Collaboration Towards a Shared Prosperous Africa. Now, the objections of the summit was to encourage collaboration, share knowledge amongst the youth across the continent. Joining me in studio to discuss this further is Mr. Labane Maluleke. He is the CEO for Gauteng Enterprise Propeller. Mr. Maluleke, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Talk to us about Breaking Down Borders Africa Initiative. What is your definition of that, and how do you want to see it implemented on the continent?
Breaking Down Borders is actually a program that is run by the youth, and it's actually South African youth who put this together. Invited a youth from around 15 other African countries to come and, as you said in your introduction, to come and talk about, commemorating Africa Month, firstly, but secondly, to collaborate on how they can sort of carve a common Africa together and look at opportunities for collaboration and cooperating on common interest areas.
Right. A great initiative, engaging young African leaders and even just the youth across the continent. Do you feel perhaps there's a lack of, participation when it comes to youth and politics, particularly in Africa, because this is where the change is brought about? Do you think we have enough of that? Because it appears, if you look at the leaders on the African continent, most of them are quite elderly at this point, if I can put it that way.
Yes, it is. Look, as GEP, we're not running the program. We're just partners. So I do believe, though, that there is a lack of that. And we are just supporting this youth. We believe that, they're taking charge, they're taking the lead, and we're supporting them. We agree with them that, we as Africans have to start as the cliche goes, that, Africa must find its own African solutions. So as GEP, we believe that, supporting these guys who have started this wonderful initiative is it's only something that's the right thing to do. We just thought that we should encourage them by supporting them and help them maybe carve future solutions, because obviously the youth is the future of the country or the continent in general. So the collaboration, in our view, will assist them in maybe putting together the solutions that Africa will require in the future.
And in your support of them, obviously you agree with their vision, you share their vision, you have an understanding of what their vision is. Just going through, one of the objectives of this initiative, one of them being encouraging collaborations, partnerships. Okay, we spoke about that already. There's a very interesting one that I saw earlier of, not allowing the colonial borders to still define the Africa that we have today. If you remember, the late Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, said, he argued that Africa needs to come together politically, economically, and pool resources so that they can develop the country. Is this the direction that the Breaking Down Borders Africa Initiative is going?
Yes, we believe it is the direction they're taking. It was not only the late Kwame Nkrumah who spoke about that. The brother leader, the late Gaddafi, also spoke about it. Our former president, Thabo Mbeki, also spoke about one Africa and finding our own solutions together. So the issue of breaking down borders has been on the agenda, but we've never had it at this kind of an extent where you have youth leading in this way. So we only felt that it is a perfect opportunity for us to participate and partner with these young guys when they started this thing. So we just joined in and just gave them a helping hand to help them achieve or get to their objective.
Yeah. And speaking of the objectives, another one that I want to pick your brain on is exploring opportunities to coexist, cooperate, intertrade. Very important. How do you think this can be implemented? I mean, like we said, we still have these colonial borders that we still are respective of. Also, a lot of African countries that are still, in contact with their colonizers with regards to their politics, be it economy. Do you think we've been able to transform ourselves as African nations and be able to break down that umbilical cord that still attaches us to our colonizers? And does it not threaten our sovereignty even as individual states?
Look, we have not. We have done to an extent, yes, we have tried as individual sovereign countries, but we have not as yet achieved, the level where one could say that, we are at that point where we could find our own solutions and trade with Africa. A lot of people talk about Africa trading with Africa, Africa selling to Africa. We're still trying to find one another. At this stage, you still find a lot of African countries having major trading partners as being, in the worst, and that is it is a tragedy that we have that kind of a situation. We should actually be supporting one another, and we should be helping Africa grow. So we shouldn't be dependent on Western solutions or Western countries to assist us in getting to that point where we could say that we are a developed continent as such. So we're still a little bit of a way out. But I do believe that there are initiatives now. Different regions are trying common markets. You have your ECOWAS, you have your SADCs, but they're not, in my opinion, they're not doing as much as they should be doing. But operations or organizations like GEP, which is our organization, we're trying our little bit. Yes, we're based in Gauteng, but we're trying our little bit to try and foster that kind of economic development initiatives, wherein you would see inter-country development,
right,
and intra-country development.
Absolutely. Well, great initiative. They're Breaking Down Borders Africa initiative supported by GED. Mr. Maluleke, CEO of the Gauteng Enterprise Propeller, joining me in studio. Thank you so much for your time. I hope this initiative is a success. It's very encouraging to see, the youth in Africa coming together and trying to make sure that they participate in the development of the continent. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
And moving right along, the Gauteng provincial government launched a digital hub at the Chimolohong precinct in Braamfontein in Johannesburg. The hub aims at assisting start-up businesses to create entrepreneurship. Our reporter, Kuralam Kansi, was there and filed this report.
With an eye open on digital innovation in townships, the Innovation Hub has managed to recruit and incubate 15 startup businesses. These will be predominantly comprised of youth and women. The focus is on creating young entrepreneurs in the digital space.
I think we all know that we are in the middle of what has been described as the fourth industrial revolution, which really relates to very broad-ranging changes that are happening in our society, the digitization of services and the digitization of our economy. And we know that whenever any major technological change takes place in society, it will disrupt